When it comes to gambling, everybody knows the house has the advantage. But there are some high rollers who consistently win, and it's hard to find anyone better at winning than Billy Walters. He bets on football and basketball, is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and has been so successful that many Las Vegas bookmakers are afraid to even take his bets. Billy Walters has been almost as elusive as Howard Hughes, avoiding publicity, reluctant to reveal his secrets. But after 30 years of unprecedented success, the man who calls himself a Kentucky hillbilly agreed for the first time to open the door into his betting life in Las Vegas, a life he describes as one long hustle, in betting parlors, in pool rooms, and on the golf course.
The story will continue in a moment.
When Billy Walters golfs, it's mostly for fun. He used to make his living off of it. And he showed us how the hustle worked with Gene McCarley, an old friend and casino owner.
Who's the better golfer?
He is.
By far, believe me.
How much money have you taken off him over the years?
When I met him, he was driving an old Cadillac full of bullet holes. Had no air conditioning. Now he's a very wealthy man.
On the day we went along, the two buddies decided to play for $5,000 a hole, with a few side bets along the way.
Gene?
Yeah, Bill?
What's the price?
You 5-1 for birdie.
So I'll take 15.
10.
You got it for a dime.
All right.
Billy just missed this 60-foot putt.
Oh!
But after only 3 holes, he was up $17,000. Small potatoes for Billy Walters.
What's the most you've ever made on a hole?
On one hole?
Yeah.
Probably 400,000.
What was the most you ever made on a round of golf? What did you take home?
Probably $1 million, around $1 million.
That's a lot of money.
Yes. I never got to bed with it. I lost it all in the Horseshoe Hotel playing blackjack before I went to bed.
Is there anything you don't gamble on?
Not really.
He gambled on the Super Bowl last year and won $3.5 million. Nevada is the only state in the country where taking bets on individual games is legal. Most bettors come here to a sports book inside the casino to lay their bets, wagering $2.5 billion every year. And there's no bigger bettor than Billy Walters. But you'll never see him betting. He has anonymous partners here and in other sports books who bet for him and for themselves. They take their instructions from Billy.
Let's wait on that game. I think we'll get 1.5. What about the Packers?
He's holed up in his home office with his phones and computers. On this Sunday morning in December, just an hour before the first NFL kickoff, he looks more like a stockbroker than a gambler, checking the numbers and phoning his bet orders to his partners in the sports books.
Okay, I need up to $250 on Green Bay, up to $150 on Cleveland.
That's $400,000 he's betting on just 2 NFL games.
What do you see the Charger total? I'm looking for 46 only for up to 40,000. Under 46 for up to 40,000. Game 132, what do you see the Cowboy total? 51.5 only for up to 30,000.
How much money did you just bet?
It's, see, 225, 325, 525, 550, 750, 900, 11, 1230, 1270, 1370. It's $1,370,000 plus 10%. That's how much I've risked.
Average Sunday morning of football?
Yeah, I would say that before the day's over, I'll probably end up with, I don't know, maybe $2 million at risk.
Over the years, people have spied on Walters, even rifled through his trash, trying to learn what teams he's betting on and how much he's betting. To protect his operation from prying eyes, Walters has become obsessed with security and secrecy. All of his partners use code names like Jaybird and Wolfman.
Wolfman, we want to take New England plus 3.5 and 3.
Can you tell me who Wolfman is?
He's a retired disc jockey.
He is not.
Come on.
He has a nickname. He prefers to be called Wolfman. That's what I call him, Wolfman. So.
Billy Walters has also built a brain trust of consultants, most of them mathematicians and experts on everything from weather conditions to player injuries. He told us they act like analysts for a hedge fund manager.
So information is key. I mean, it sounds like you track every single detail that could possibly affect the outcomes of these games and these teams.
Yes. It gets presented to me, I evaluate it, and I determine what I'm going to do.
The information is so valuable that Walters keeps it all to himself. His consultants have all worked with him for 30 years, but they've never met each other.
They don't know each other, they don't talk to each other. The only common denominator is me.
You're the only one that knows everybody.
Correct.
There's one of them you say is a savant. Why?
He can name every player on that team. He knew whether they were a freshman, a junior, a sophomore. He knew who the backup was. And this was strictly by recall. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. He would have an opinion on an outcome of a game. And he would be right many, many times.
Being right on his football bets this Sunday morning made Billy Walters $300,000. Add in Thursday night's game, and he netted close to $1 million. In Walters' hillbilly speak, it was all chicken. His bets on college basketball were less successful.
I didn't fare too well with those games. Yesterday was a feather day, as we refer to in our household. It was feathers yesterday. There was no chicken.
So you lost a lot of money?
Yeah, I had a pretty bad day. The net loss, I lost $257,200. And I could lose again today. I could lose again next week. I've had losing weeks. I've had losing months.
But never a losing year.
Never a losing year.
And in sports betting, that is unprecedented.
Is there anyone else like Billy Walters? Does anyone else do business the way he does in this town?
No one close. No one close.
Kenny White is one of the most respected odds makers in Las Vegas.
What's his reputation in this town?
That he's a shark and a whale. He's a great white.
What does it mean?
Oh, it means he's the most dangerous sports bettor in the history of Nevada, the history of the world.
Is he respected?
Oh, well respected, yes. Very
Feared?
respected. Yes. Oh, feared, yes.
And why is that?
It's the damage that he can do to a sports book.
All his winnings have made Billy Walters a very rich man. He lives large like a corporate titan. He and his wife Susan travel in a brand new jet worth $20 million that they use to travel to their 7 homes. Billy Walters also gives millions to charities. He insisted on taking us to his favorite, Opportunity Village, which trains intellectually handicapped people to perform jobs in Las Vegas. It's all close to his heart because he has a son with serious brain damage. Billy Walters was born dirt poor in the small town of Munfordville, Kentucky. He was raised by his grandmother. His mother had 3 kids by the time she was 17. Billy says she drank and wasn't around much. He was hanging out in pool halls before most kids his age even knew what gambling was.
I started shooting pool when I was 5. And when I was 6, I played a game of 9-ball for a penny.
Were you any good at pool?
I got to be decent at pool, yes. By the time I was 13, I was a decent pool player. I was pretty decent.
Were you making money?
Yes. I probably had some situations where I won $4,000 or $5,000 or something. But now when I was 13, that didn't come along until I was like 15 or 16.
Until you were like 50. Well, you're practically an old man at that point.
In 1980, Billy moved to Las Vegas after he was convicted of bookmaking in Kentucky. His new home became the casino, where he played poker and craps.
All right, roll a 10. 2 blocks of 5.
There you go.
Come to mama. Billy told us he was broke more times than he can remember. But to Billy Walters, the game was always more important than the money.
Are you a hustler?
What's the definition of a hustler?
I take that as a yes.
To me, in life, you're either one of two. You're either a hustler or you're being hustled. And, there's an old saying amongst gamblers, if you look around the room and you can't find the mark, you're the mark.
Billy Walters joined a now infamous syndicate called the Computer Group, which revolutionized sports betting in the 1980s by feeding data into computers. The group made so much money that authorities thought they were running an illegal bookmaking operation. Later, Walters was also accused of money laundering and having connections to the mob.
How many times have you been indicted?
4. I was indicted 3 times by the Attorney General's office in Nevada for the same thing. I got indicted, went to court, it was thrown out. I got re-indicted for the same thing, went to court again, it was thrown out. I got re-indicted again, went to court again, finally the 3rd time it was thrown out, and that was the end of it.
None of the charges stuck, and Walters went on to build his own betting business. He became better than the bookmakers at predicting which team would win and by what margin. That margin of victory is called the spread or the line.
Now, your lines are often different from the bookmakers' lines.
Yes, substantially.
What do you do in that situation?
The bigger the difference between the lines, the bigger the discrepancy, the larger bet I make.
What's unique about Walters is that when he doesn't like the line, he can sometimes force the bookmakers to change it.
We're going to work on this one a little bit. This number's gotten a little away from us.
Here, Walters thinks the favorite is going to win, but he doesn't like the line, so he bets on the underdog.
Okay, we're going to phony a game up here. We're going to play 539.
Bookmakers need the same amount of money on both sides of the game, so they respond to Walters' bet by lowering the line to attract more money on the favorite. That's when Walters springs into action and instructs his partners to simultaneously make an even bigger bet on the favorite.
Go, go, go. Kansas State minus up to 8.5. Let's roll.
Unlike some bookmakers, Lee Amidas is not afraid to take Billy Walters' bets in the sportsbook at the M Casino. He knows Billy is dangerous, but says it's an advantage to know what he's thinking.
Billy sometimes bets on both sides to move the line, and he sometimes makes money that way.
I think he's one of the best at it. He'll circle in on games that he knows the lines are soft, and he'll push that line to where he wants it to be, and then he'll take the other side of that.
Does he have the power to move your lines?
Of course he does. He's Billy Walters. Of course he has the power to move our lines.
Billy Walters has built an empire from his gambling, and at the age of 64, he isn't slowing down. He owns 4 golf courses, including this one, 8 car dealerships, and a ton of stock. But it was on Wall Street, he says, where he was taken for a ride.
I've been swindled out of quite a bit of money on the stock market. I bought a lot of Enron stock once, and I got swindled. I bought a lot of WorldCom stock, got swindled. I bought a lot of Tyco stock. I got swindled.
His disdain for Wall Street is one of the reasons Billy Walters decided to talk to us. A chance, he says, to make the point that the gambling world is not as shady as most people think.
I ran into a lot of bad guys, a lot of thieves. I mean, they'd steal the Lord's Supper. But I can tell you, percentage-wise, I ran into many more with the suits and ties on than I have with the gamblers.
So you would say that the hustler from Vegas got hustled by Wall Street?
No doubt about it.